everyone, it's Mari, and thanks so much for joining me today for this 12 by 12 process video. And I'm going to be working on a layout that I've titled Hello, and it's a layout that I've used where I've used two photographs of my two kids. And so right now I'm just mixing up a little bit of acrylic paint, and I've just taken some green and some white and mixed them together. Just a little bit of green and a whole bunch of white because I want to create a really pretty mint green color. So I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to stroke this on here as thinly as I can get it. And I've actually mixed a little bit of water with that paint just to thin it down a tiny little bit so that I can get it to move across that paper a little bit. Now that paper is actually mixed media paper, and I love this stuff to work on when I'm using a variety of different products on the layout, and it just allows the paper to take the medium a little bit better. So that's what I'm using there. So you can see that I'm just going to use a little bit of this Cedar Lane paper. I can't remember what the name of it is, but pretty much all of the products that I'm using today are from the October Hip Kit. And I'll leave a link in the description below to the Hip Kit website so that you can see what's in that October kit. And it is just an absolutely beautiful kit. It's probably one of my favorite kits that we've gotten in 2015 so far. I really, really love it. So I'm just working with that coral paper, and here you can see I'm going to use this Jen Hadfield paper as the frame around the white. And I'm just going to actually get that stuck down now so that I can start to work on the paper once it's adhered to that mint green frame. And that is such pretty paper. It's really, really delicate, and it's got the ombre effect on it with fade to the lighter color of mint, and then it's got the white polka dot. So just absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm just going to frame that on there, or use that as a frame. And I've rounded the corners of the mixed media paper as well, just to finish off the edges a little bit. So you can see that what I've done with that acrylic paint is kind of created a little bit of a diagonal so that it's higher on the top left and lower on the bottom right. So I'm actually going to try to create sort of like a diagonal eye line across the layout in that way. So I'm just kind of trying to decide what I want to do with these pictures right now. So I've sized the pictures down to not quite 2 by 2. I think probably close, but not quite. And I'm just kind of trying to decide how I want to map those pictures. And then I decide that I feel like that layout the background's just a little bit plain, and I want to add a little bit more to it. So I just take this script stencil. I think this is a Donna Downey stencil that I got from the Pink Camera online store. And I'm just going to take some texture paste and go over that with my palette knife just to create a little bit of texture on top of that paint. And this is just a really, really pretty stencil. It's got just some really delicate script on it, and it just does really leave a really nice texture and background over top, another layer on top of that mint green paint. I really like that. I like how it looked. So I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to put some Heidi Swapp Color Shine splatters on here in orange. I think actually maybe this is even the salmon. And then I also add some of the teal, I believe, some teal blue. And then I think actually on top of that I'm going to add a little bit of gold. And the accents for this layout are gold for sure. And I'm going to be using some of the ephemera pieces from that same Jen Hadfield DIY homemade collection, and that is just a really, really lovely collection. And like I said, we did get some of those pieces in our October Hip Kit, so that was fantastic. We also got some of the Pink Paisley Cedar Lane collection in the October kit as well. So you can see I've got that color shine on there now, and I've given it a little bit of time to dry, and I'm just going to try to figure out how I'm going to map these pictures once again of Jordan and Bailey. And I'm going to take, this is some of the paper from Amy Tan Stitched that was in my stash, And I'm just going to take some pieces of that and just tear them a little bit so that they're a little bit of a rough layer. So what I wanted to do, because these pictures are quite small, I wanted to take them and I wanted to mat them separately, and I wanted to do kind of a messy mat with them. And I really like that look, just because it just really adds a little bit of interest and and different kind of texture to the layout when there's all those different sort of like edges on the layers behind the photograph. So I like that, and I'm just going to try now to create some of that texture and those layers here with this paper. And I'm going to do that with a variety of different kinds of paper, and you'll just see me do that as I go here. So I'm just trying to tear that paper so that it's kind of uneven, and I'm trying to tear it so that the paper rips up, if you know what I mean by that. So I just want a little bit of that white edge showing on the paper rather than the opposite edge. That makes sense. Anyway, so I'm just trying to offset those a little bit on top of those papers just to create a little bit of an offset look. And then I'm going to stick them down to that mat, the layout. So I'm actually going to take a minute here to go and find some white tissue paper in my stash. And I think I'm actually going to, I bring out some of that aqua color tissue paper that Kimberly packs our kits in, and it doesn't match. So I end up just using some white. So yeah, you can see that I try that. It's beautiful. And I've used it on lots of layouts, but it just doesn't quite work with this one. So I'm going to just take I think some white that I have as well, and use a little tiny scrap of that on each of these photo mats. So I wanted to put the clean edge, the straight edge, to the inside of the mat so that the rough edge obviously is what's sticking out. And you know, and it didn't matter to me how neat that was, because these mats are messy mats, and I like matting my photos that way, especially when the photos are smaller. I think it looks neat that way, and it just adds a little bit of extra interest to the photo mats. So I like doing that, and I am attempting to do that with both of those pictures. I love these pictures of my kids. They were actually taken on a Mother's Day, the year Bailey was in grade 12, so I want to say that was 3 years ago. And the picture of the kids together is just really super cute. My mom was really sick at that time, and Bailey's dance recital was that day, and we just, right as soon as the dance recital was over, we drove to the city to see my mom. She was in the hospital, and so it was just really easy to remember what these pictures captured that day, because I remember it very, very vividly, actually. So I will do some journaling off camera. I don't actually post that on the video. So I'm just mounting these on some vellum that has some gold accents in it, and I don't remember what line that or what collection that's from. It could be Maggie Holmes. I'm not 100% sure. It wasn't from the kit. It was just scraps that I had in my stash. But I really, really love using vellum paper in my mats, especially with gold accents. And it looks really nice on this layout because there's the accents are in gold, including that gold Heidi Swap color shine that's on the layout there already in those splatters. So I'm just adding those little bits in and getting those matte pieces stuck together. And I take some foam tape and put that on the back of the photos just to pop the photos up off of the layout a little bit. So I always find it kind of sad in a way that these videos never really capture how pretty the layouts actually are. And I always keep that in mind when I'm looking at other people's YouTube videos too, and I really try to take a careful look at the still shots that they include in their videos, because it's sort of like a better way of getting a close-up of all the little fine details that are with the layouts, especially when people put sewing and all those really fine details onto their layouts. Those sometimes don't show up very well in the YouTube video, so it's important to take a look at those still shots at the end, I always find. So I'm just going to put this gold foil ampersand in the middle between the two kids' pictures, And then I'm going to take that hello, and that is from, I think that's Heidi Swap, and it was from Kip Kit way, way back. Like, I don't even remember when, lots of months ago. And I had it still in my stash. I put it in my stash, and I love it. I love those script words, but I just hadn't used that one yet. So I'm taking just a bunch of the little ephemera pieces. I love those little cups that say, one says best and the other says friends. And I just love that for this layout. I thought it was super cute. And I'm just kind of trying to decide where I want to put those embellishments. And I end up deciding that I want to center them a little bit more because of that ampersand in the center and the way that I have the pictures centered on that paper. I just thought that obviously it would make a little more sense to have these pieces centered as well. And then with the diagonal eye line sort of going from top to bottom, bringing everything together. So I'm just going to actually take a minute to stick these down, and I think I do that off camera just so that I'm not boring you with my glue. And then I think I'm almost done. I think what I ended up doing, yeah, as you can see here, I sized that frame, that mint colored paper down a little bit, and I decided to frame this in with this diagonal stripe paper, which is also from the kit. And I just felt like because there was a little bit of black in the layout with some of the ephemera pieces, I just thought that it finished it off nicely. So thanks so much for watching today. I hope you have an amazing day. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subbing to my channel. I really appreciate it. You know what? You're amazing. Have a great day. Bye-bye.